Most welcome tonight. It's a night here in the UK. It's only 6 p.m., but it's already dark outside. And of course, I know in Africa it's too dark. Now, welcome again to Humans TV Africa. This is Humans TV Africa, and of course, my name is KATO Mukasa. I'm a Ugandan, very much interested in issues human rights, but also issues humanism. And of course, we use this program to be able to reach out to you and talk about issues that you rarely hear about. Now, why Human TV Africa is because we want to provide an avenue on which we share ideas, on which we build each other, on which we mentor each other, on which we learn from each other. Remember, we don't know everything, but we believe that what we know, we can share it with you, and you can also share it with us. Now, we want you to do something good for us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. It's called Humanist TV Africa. Please subscribe, hit that button, hit that dial, and be able to follow the winning team. This is Humanist TV Africa. Please subscribe to it. It is Humanist TV Africa at Facebook and, of course, at YouTube. But also, write to us at Humanist TV Africa at proton.me. The email is humancityafrica@proton.me. And when you write to us, who knows, you can work with us. We want volunteers in Ghana. We want volunteers in Nigeria. We want volunteers in Zimbabwe, Zambia, Sierra Leone, all over Africa. And of course, we want volunteers in the UK. We want volunteers in Singapore, US, Canada, everywhere. We want volunteers to work with us. If you're a journalist, you're a lawyer, you're a social worker, you're a community development worker, you are an IT expert, and you want to put your skills to use, this is the place to go. It's a virtual TV, but also having studios where people operate. We have studios in Ghana, of course, in Kumasi. We have studios in Sierra Leone, I have to say. At least we are there. We have studios in Ghana, 2 studios in Ghana. We have a studio in Zimbabwe. You can see our graduate, Tauya Chinama, is gracing the show today for the first time. Tauya, you can wave to me because you look like a very humble graduate, and I know you are not. Now we have, of course, Tauya Chinama there, and we are doing our best. Of course, we have 4 studios in Uganda. Now, we have these virtual studios, but also physical studios. We want to give you interviews from Zimbabwe. We want to give you interviews from Ghana, from Accra, from Kumasi. We want to give you interviews from Abuja. You see that Nigerian man, I think this is the most brown man on the set, is a kind of wizard, because every time we are disagreeing with him, every time he comes here with weird views, and we fight. Sometimes he wins, but much of the time he loses. He's a loser, but he doesn't give up. And of course, we have Sierra Leone there, represented by Mambu Emmanuel, and of course we have our quiet man, the diplomat, Nana Kufo. Now, we are kicking it in. My team is there. Of course, I've mentioned Tauya Chinama in Zimbabwe, our graduate today. Of course, I've mentioned Nana Kufo from Ghana. Of course, there is Emmanuel Mambu from Sierra Leone, and the Tarok man, none other than Sir Bongfa Nandip, just right there, the man with a hoodie. You see, I call him Sir. I don't know what I call Sir on the team because he has to give me trouble every time we have a show on this set. So, as the Queen honored Mugabe and gave him a knighthood of Sir, is the way you honor Bongfa Nandip, because it gives me a lot of trouble on set. There's another Mugabe in our circles here. Now, welcome. Today, we're going to look at religion. We are going to look at religion and we're going to ask ourselves, how relevant is this religion? Of course, the show is KATO the Gang, and the topic today is how relevant is the religion in your country today? How relevant is the religion in your country today? Now, because you see, he has now disappeared also. And I was going to say, because Emmanuel Mambu normally disappears first, let me give him a chance. But because we have Tauya Chinama as a guest today, of course, as a panelist, Tauya Chinama is the director at Romance TV Africa, but this is his first time to feature here on the show. And since he wears this gown, intimidating all of us with so many degrees, let us give Tauya Chinama a chance to kickstart this conversation. Tauya.
All right, thank you very much, fellow brothers, fellow free thinkers. It is very, very difficult to open the stage, I'm sure, but I'll try my best. And maybe just to say a little bit about myself, Kato said I'm the Zimbabwean director and representative of Humanist TV Africa, and I'm also an educator by profession, and I'm a researcher. And my area of interest for research is religion and human rights. So I think this is the most relevant topic for me to talk about. I've published a number of works around religion and human rights. And I'm also into youth activism and youth advocacy, for that matter. So how relevant is religion in Zimbabwe? In Zimbabwe, religion is very, very relevant. We see how religion influences almost every part of life in Zimbabwe, whether it's politics, whether it's social life, whether it's economics. You find that there is a touch of religion. But what do we mean when we say religion in Zimbabwe? It's a pity that when we talk of religion, many people they think of Abrahamic religion, that is Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. But we have to also to know that we also have other religions, such as the local religion, which probably to some people is very difficult to separate from the culture. And I normally tell people that as a humanist, if you are to convince me to follow a particular religion, the religion which I think makes sense out of all the religions of this world, I think is African traditional religion. Why I say so? African traditional religion takes cognizance of my ancestors. It respects where I came from. And I normally tell people, especially Christians, why my grandfather's name was Hute. Why should I say Hute is an evil spirit, but I would claim to be a son or daughter of Abraham? There's no difference between my grandfather and Abraham. Abraham died and was buried, and he wrote. The same happened to my grandfather. So I normally tell people that you can convince me to be a traditionalist, not to be any other religion. But of course, it won't make sense to them because majority of us, of people, became religious through colonization, sometimes through slavery. So, noting that history, religion has a lot of impact on how people conduct themselves. In Zimbabwe, members of parliament, when taking oath of office, they actually swear using a Bible, though Zimbabwe was never declared a Christian nation. Yes, our neighbor Zambia was declared a Christian nation by Frederick Chiluba, which was a populist stance, probably trying to persuade a number of Zambians to follow him, because some people, they actually associate being good with being religious, which I think is not the right thing, because if you are good merely because you are religious, it means you are good because you fear hell. And I think Peterson would say you are like a dog on a leash. You can't say you are not vicious because you are on a leash. Because if you release the leash, you can be vicious. So I think one of the first person to be non-religious and be in the parliament of Zimbabwe was Munyaradzi Gwisai. That guy was a founding member of the main opposition then in 1999. It was called MDC. Unfortunately, it died natural death. the part which was led by the late Morgan Tsvangirai. I think some of you guys, you heard of Morgan Tsvangirai, who was contesting Mugabe for so long, and they died. Tsvangirai died in 2018 and Mugabe died in 2019. So, yeah. So, but he was also the first person to be recalled from parliament. Why he was recalled? They thought he was too radical, because he was the first person to refuse to swear using the Bible, which actually made him being accused. You know, people, when you say you're non-religious, people, they suspect that you are what they call Satanist. They don't understand that Satanism is another religion. So that's how religion controls almost everything in our country. For example, in 2018 elections, we have the current president of the country having a slogan when they say the voice of the people is the voice of God, while the main opposition leader saying, "Hush, God is in it." So you look at all the main political leaders; they are actually somehow religious. I don't know whether they're truly religious or they're doing this as a propaganda to get support from the electorate, which is largely religious. 80% of the population in Zimbabwe is Christian. Then this 10%, it is being shared among other religions. Then there is another 10%, though some people would query those statistics. 10% of the Zimbabwean people, they claim not to be associated with one religion or another. I can't claim that all that 10% are humanists, but probably that in that 10%, there are people who are somehow liberal when it comes to religion. Because we have people who are liberal, who can say, yes, you are of this religion, I can listen to you. And in 2015, I'm just trying to give the background of how religion control how people thinking. But in 2015, we actually adopted a new a curriculum framework where the then Minister of Education suggested that the saying of the Lord's Prayer in public school was giving advantage to Christians and disadvantage to other religions. Remember, when the government is taking taxes from people, they don't take taxes on account of your religious affiliation. So you would find that a Jew would pay tax the same way a Muslim would pay tax a Christian. But the son of a Jew, the son of a Muslim, the son of a non-religious person or any other religion will be forced to say the Lord's Prayer, which is a Christian prayer. So a Christian prayer was actually substituted by what we call a pledge. That pledge was challenged in court by a parent who had 3 children in school. It actually violated his parental rights. It actually violated the freedom of conscience of his kids, which I think it wasn't fair. He challenged it in 2016. Then the judgment was pronounced in December 2020. That was 4 years afterwards, when they said the pledge was unconstitutional, which I think it wasn't unconstitutional. Unfortunately, despite KATO saying I have a number of degrees, I still yet to get a law degree. I think that will be my last degree. And so that when I want to challenge such judgments, I just have to do it on my own. Because nowadays, as we speak now, there are very few law firms or lawyers which we can approach who can help us in that sense. But unfortunately, maybe if Kato was here, probably was going to help us to challenge that judgment. Because I think for myself, it was a move towards secularizing how education is being delivered to students. Because I think what we need as humanists, we are not advocating for elimination of any religion, but we are advocating for the equal respect of all religion. As long though the practice of those religions is not harming oneself or others, let it be practiced. It becomes a problem when the government has the burden to promote one religion at the expense of another. So we are trying to say, well, all religions has to be respected equally, and people should not be denied the opportunities, whether economic, political, or social, on account of being non-religious, on account of being of a particular minority religion. So, and I'm sure most of the time, yes, I know among us people who are humanists, that yes, there are some people who are a bit militant, who probably say something which actually which won't sit well with the religious people. Yes, yeah, it's there, and sometimes that is the only way probably they might actually knock sense probably in some people's mind, trying to show them, if I treat you this way, if you don't like to be treated this way, so why are you treating me that way? So as for Zimbabwe, I say religion is very, very relevant, but I think we need to improve the way we look at religion. And I think I have been trying to promote the learning of philosophy in our schools, so that people can learn to challenge the truth, what they call the truth they've been given. Because normally it's rare to find people challenging religion. It takes a lot of courage to challenge a religion, because you find religion is somehow, when the majority are religious, it means somehow, when you try to address that issue using democracy, you won't win it. I know I didn't manage to attend your last session last night. I don't know if any of you mentioned that democrats never solved the problem of tyranny, because when you use religion, when you use democracy, there is what we call tyranny of the majority, and I think tyranny of majority is worse than the tyranny of an individual, because tyranny of the majority is somehow wired in the way how people think. So you are somehow tyrannized every day. So when you are in minority, you are tyrannized. So I think we should move away from democracy to secularocracy somehow, if we are to be
I
in
have to
line with
stop there right away. I'm afraid
pardon.
I'm going to stop you there because there are other panelists to speak. You have
Ah,
had
well, thank you
some
very
good
much. I
run.
hope I've said enough. I won't ask for 2 minutes to conclude, but I think I've said enough. I think at least I tried to give what is in Zimbabwe. Of course, if some other people need clarity, of course, I'm sure they'll ask. Thank you very much for the opportunity. It is my first time to join the game. I hope I wasn't offside. If I was offside, I think you should have raised the flag.
Thank you very much, sir. You were almost inside and almost offside, but let us go with that. You were almost inside. But of course, that's a joke. You gave us a very good preamble into Zimbabwe and, of course, the region. And I like the way you said the tyranny of the majority, and that's democracy. Democracy is actually the tyranny of the majority. The numbers take the day. Our senior elder and our friend Comrade Kevin Sadna, who is in Canada, sends greetings. He's always watching us, he's always sharing our shows. He's in Canada and he's a humanist. Some of you know him. He supports many of our causes. Thank you so much, Kevin, for following this. And of course, that video I've just showed you, I've just shared on our WhatsApp group, was sent to me by Kevin from Canada. I've just shared with you that video of a poet, an African poet who talk about Africa and our culture and all that, is from Canada. So thank you so much, Kevin, for watching. And of course, thank you so much, Tauya, for giving us that insight. Of course, Tauya is a specialist when it comes to matters of religion, because Tauya there, you see, was almost a priest. In fact, I was surprised to see his passport reading priest. I think you are not even almost a priest. You must have been a priest. But that's a discussion for another day. So Tauya knows a lot of issues to do with the religion, because even the passport said something to do with the priest. Now, that was Tauya Chinama. Of course, I'm going to go right away to the man with the hoodie, Sir Nandip Bongfa, to give us his take on religion. What's the relevance of religion today in Nigeria? And can you please position your camera, because we are seeing half of your face? Yes, there. Good.
Yeah. Thank you, Comrade Katu. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me?
We can hear you.
Good. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. My name is Nandip Andrew Bongfa. I'm from Nigeria. I'm based in Abuja, the federal capital. You know, I'm a member of the panelists, the director, and board of trustee of Humanist Association of Nigeria. Honestly, I like this topic. Is religion relevant in your country today? Yes. I agree with Toya, our comrade from Zimbabwe. Toya, you are welcome to Humanist TV Africa, into the panelists. Yes, religion is relevant in my country, which is Nigeria, in the sense that anything about religion is occupy the mind of men, women, and children, although in a very negative way. You see, everybody knows Nigeria as the giant of Africa in democracy, otherwise. But then we have tested the democracy through the religion aspect in this year democracy, that is election, of which we have two candidates that came out as president and vice president. All they are from the same religion, that is Islam. And the campaign was so fair. The campaign was so kind of strong, and many people take side. The Christians campaign differently for the Labour Party presidential candidate, who is a Christian, and the Muslim campaign also, both in the mosques and everywhere, for the Muslim presidential candidate and the deputy, which are all what? Muslims, So this shows that religion has a very relevant in a country called Nigeria. Having said that, at the end of the election, of which many believe that it was rigged by the present government, which the Muslim ticket were being issued into the government, and the Muslim community in Nigeria now saying that their population, they are more than the Christians. Although some few months later into the election, everybody start crying because of the hardship, the corruption, and what have you that has been going on in this country. Look at it this way. Religion has been, been in the bedrock of Nigeria since democracy started. That is our third republic, which is started in 1999. And all the elective representative, president, vice president, ministers, governors, local government chairman, and councillor, we have been sworn through one religion book or the other to uphold the truth and honesty, to be fair to everyone. But the reverse is the case. People use the religion text, which is the books, the Quran and the Bible, to lie, to we the masses, to cheat. All the corruption that is going on in Nigeria, all those who are involved, they are all Christians and Muslims. You cannot find an atheist, humanist, or traditionalist in those group of people. What causes hardship into a society or a community or a country is corruption. And these people that lead us, they base their ideology in religion. So we use religion for election, and also we use religion for education, in the sense that in Nigeria today, you will discover that there are Muslim kind of educational system and a Christian kind of educational system, of which they taught, honesty and a straightforwardness. But that is all lies. We have hundreds of religious schools in this country, but that didn't help anybody. Everybody, many people, they are even worse by attending a religious school or educational center. Why can't we as Nigerians have humanist educational center, of which we will teach you how to love humanity? That is humanity first before any other thing. Don't think about your religion as the key. That is, religion also causes favoritism. That is, you favor the person from the same religion background that you come in. Let's take off risk for employment opportunity. I've talked about education, now employment opportunity. So the religion is so relevant in this country, Nigeria, in the sense when an opportunity comes for employment, then those who are in the aim of their affairs, those who are, trying to employ people, they would like to select or employ those who are in the same religion as theirs, which is wrong because of the relevance in religion in my country. You will see that at times those positions that meant to be that is when you are qualified, you be employed. No. Now, instead of the religious people employed through merit, they decided to sell it, this post or position, to their members. That is also corruption in religion, of which is relevant. But because of the multitude of people that have diversity in different religions that we have in this country, they will now kind of sell this employment opportunity to the highest bidder. What has religion taught us? It's taught us corruption. It's relevant, but it's useless at the same time. If I come to get a job, like I'm a humanist, they will say, what is a humanist? You explain to them, and maybe to free thinker or an atheist, you are not going to get anything. You are not going to get to be employed. You will say that you are a devil has come to look for a job here is not going to get it because you don't have a religion. Or if you are a traditionalist and it came for you are qualified, they will not give it to you because Christianity and Islam, they are more relevant and so strong in this country than any other. So the relevance of religion in my country has not helped us. In Nigeria, no way, has never helped. Now, what is the way forward? Of which I try to, make a suggestion through, humanist education, of which people should not see their religion as anything. You just see yes, this is what I grew into from my, parents. Maybe they are Christians, I grow into as a Christian. Or from my parents who are Muslim, I grow into as a Muslim. So we should not base our, action on religion. No. That's why Nigeria is not progressing because Nigeria now is shared and divided into two. The Islamic part of it and the Christianity part of it. And this relevant in religion in my country today has not helped and it will never help except we'll have a rethink and do what is necessary for the betterment of all Nigerians and humanity in Nigeria. If not so, we will keep on, recycling ourselves, suffering, cheating, stealing. We will not get forward. We will never move forward. And also religion favor kind of tribalism. The same thing goes with employment and all that. Because I am from this tribal background and this my brother is a Christian. I have to favor him. Yes. Or this tribal background and this my brother is a Muslim. I have to favor him. If that person is not even qualified, that doesn't matter because he's from from the same religious setting. Now, what do we have to do as humanists? I'm happy with this Humanist TV Africa. We educate, we enlighten, we talk to the conscience of people on how things have to be done as humanists, as atheists, as free thinkers. We don't discriminate. You have to get what you have with what merit. You merit it, you have it. And that's how, advanced society progresses. Not about relevant in religion, because if you put religion, you are not going to progress in anywhere. Of course, those countries that advance, actually, they have sense of what reasoning more than we Africans. We have about 90% of Africans, they are religious. They are religious. They are completely religious, but
I
mostly
have
are
to stop
Christian and
you
Muslim.
there because you will not stop by your own self.
You
I
said?
have to stop you there because
Okay.
you will not stop by your own self. You have run 15 minutes of talking and we have had it. Now it's time to hear from Ghana.
It's okay.
Ghana,
Thank you.
thank you very much. Nandip. Nana Po.
Thank you, Comrade Kato, and thank you, Comrade Nandip. I really learned something from you, and there are some banters I want to come back, but I'll have to concentrate on my own problem here in Ghana. But before I start, let me start this quote from Comrade Kato in his book, The God Business and the Death of Reason in Africa. Comrade Kato said, religion is well. I know you will fight with me. I know. Comrade Kato said, religion is a well-designed system, a form of mass control. The few powerful are able to control the many fools who, despite their suffering at the hands of the powerful few, continue to blame themselves and look up to an invisible man in heaven for atonement. And they spend all their earthly life on their knees, having accepted their fate, they forget that it's one life they have here, and instead wait for an imaginary heaven, expecting to find their happiness in there and not here in the now. And this is one of my favorite quotes uh, in my atheistic journey. Uh, Religion and Ghana are like it's a cattle in Ghana. They are twins. Religion and Ghana are twins. You can't separate the two of them, and it has really affected all the facets of our life. For example, let me take the family level for instance, because the family is the core unit of our society. As soon as you are born, they dedicate you to a god. In the olden days, it used to be our ancestors and their gods. But with the influx of the Europeans, right now we've shunned our ancestral ways, and we are now following the West. So you are being ushered into a pastoral care. They will call a pastor for the pastor to come and pray so that enemies. So as soon as you are born, enemies are being created for you, the individual. That these people will be hunting you, and you need protection from them. So religion, the first day you come here in Ghana, you are born here in Ghana, you are being designated an imaginary enemy, which a pastor or an agent of a spiritual entity needs to fight on your behalf. So it is a lifelong battle, because they will tell you in the spirit world, spirits are not killed, but they are rather driven away. And in the Bible, they continue to say if the pastor is able to drive one particular spirit away, that spirit is going to organize 12 more spirits to come and attack you, which means it's a form of roller coaster. You will never be free from this spiritism. They have labeled you and your spirit life for life. Let me move on to other aspects of how religion is affecting the society at large. Because politicians knows the common Ghanaian as someone who doesn't read, someone who thinks the whole world evolves here in Ghana. That is one of our mentality. We think the world exists here only in Ghana. So these politicians knows our weaknesses. They realize it is religion that can help them to get into our conscience so that they will be able to manipulate us and follow whatever they wanted to do when they get a kind of power, or when they get into a superior position in the government. So they collaborate with these pastors, these imams, so that people will be thinking that, oh, these politicians are with us. So as Comrade China, the name might be, as my other comrade from Zimbabwe said, they will swear with the Bible, and we, the bystanders, we, the common people, will be, wow, he's swearing with the Bible. Then he must be a good person. So they use these religious activities to deceive us, to deceive the masses, for the masses to think that these politicians have our progress at heart. But rather, it is the opposite. They know our weaknesses, and they know that the average Ghanaian is 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 the average Ghanaian is embedded with religious uh, uh, imaginations every minute of his or her life. Because here, when the rain starts to come, we think it is the spiritual entity which is doing that. When there is too much, the sun is shining too hot, we think there are spiritual entities behind that. When there is an accident, a motor accident, we think that is a spiritual entity behind that. when a relative goes to the hospitals and don't come back, we think there are spiritual entities behind the death of that relative. So we ascribe everything to superstition. So it is a very big business, and many people are taking advantage of it. I myself, once I must confess, because I'm on a humanist TV, I remember when I finished my national service and I was in Accra then, trying to get employment. I've written over 100 applications. So a friend of mine came and told me, ah, PJ, I know you know the Bible. Why don't you follow me to the market and we preach, you will get money? And I told him, man, me, I don't want to involve myself. He said, oh, you are here, you are suffering. Let's go to the market. So I was like, okay, let me try. Then I followed him. But I told him, when we go to the market or when we go out to preach, I wouldn't want us to ask for money. Let's preach and thank them and we will leave. And he said, but we are going, it's because of money. And I said, if it is because of money, follow my tactics. We won't ask for money. So he said, okay, if I agree, he will agree to that. So we went to Medina Market, one of the most popular markets in Accra. And every place, there were pastors all over the place, taking the place already preaching. So we asked some of the market women to give us some place to preach. And they said, oh, we can stand here because they knew we were students. So we can come here. This is our first time, so we should preach. As soon as we started, a different pastor came saying that place is for him, so we should go away. But it was a market woman who said no, they should allow us because we are new guys. Then we started preaching. I told him we shouldn't preach about hate, we should preach about the love of Jesus Christ, the love of God. And he said, and we preached. When we finished, we didn't ask for money. We didn't ask for money. And we thanked them that, oh, we are students. As the Bible says, we should go worldwide to preach the word of God. It mandates us to come here to preach, share the word of God. So we thank you. Next time, if we have another time, we will come. And they were looking at us, so we started walking. And they were looking, and they said, oh, students, won't you come back and collect something small for transportation? Kato, I tell you, that day I got 500 cedis. We preached at just 3 places, and we got money. So I realized, wow, so there is really money in this business. That is why many people endure, because the market, you not get a place to stand to preach. Every place has been taken by these fake pastors. So I got money. My friend wanted to buy things so that we can go and prepare food, and he wanted to buy it from the same market we went. So I told him, no, let's go to the Muslim part. They don't know we have preached. Or either than that, when we come in and start, the market women will give you food, they won't give you money. So we went to the Islamic part of the market and we bought our things, came home, prepared food, enjoy it. My friend too, he smokes and drinks. He's a pastor. He bought his cigarettes and we enjoyed the money. So this is a confession I'm making because I've realized as soon as you use the name of Jesus Christ, even the person with a PhD certificate will bow down to you. And the few individuals who have realized this are taking advantage of it and duping people here and there, building big mansions, turning our factories into churches. If you come to Accra right now, the Spinters place used to be for factories, warehouses. Right now, it is gradually turning into a hub of church because it is the pastors who buy these warehouses and turn them into churches, huge churches, and it is springing up across all over the country. The factories we used to, our parents used to work so that we can get something to eat, have now all been turned into a factory for God, for pastors. So with the religion situation here in Ghana, Kato, is really serious. There is no fundamental part of the Ghanaian life that you can take religion out of. Even when you are going to write exams, I remember when we were going to write exams, there were friends of mine who insist we should go to men of God to go and pray so that it is God rather who helps. I told them that time I wasn't even an atheist. I told them, if you don't learn, God will not allow you. God will not even allow you to, whether you go to the pastor. So me, I left my friend and went to learn. as I talked to my friend, couldn't enter university. As I'm talking to you, the friend of mine couldn't enter because he insisted on going to the pastor to pray and collect a miracle pen. So, religion, all the even right now, a lady will have sex with you if you believe in God. If you don't believe in Jesus Christ, you don't believe in God, you will not have a woman to have sex with in Ghana. So, so if I tell you religion has hijacked every aspect of the Ghanaian life, look at the amount of money, almost $500 million building a national cathedral. Why we don't have, we lack hospitals. Our roads are bad. People have worked for a year, they have not been paid. But you are, and with this money, they have not even built a cathedral. They have dug a hole. The pastors who are supposed to build this cathedral are thieves. They are thieves than the politicians. Even the politicians are even amazed.
I have to stop you there. I think you have had a good run. You have had a good run. And there's something which you said which intrigued me. Of course, one, I have to thank you for reading the book I sent you, of course, the book I authored. I want to request you to showcase that book. You have, yeah, properly. That's the book I wrote. The book is called The God Business. Then let's make it better, please. The God Business and the Death of Reason in Africa. Then let's make it better, it's broadly. The God Business and the Death of Reason in Africa. Um, Unlocking the slave mind of the African child. Unlocking the slave mind of the African child. Of course, the book is authored by me. It took me about 8 years of research and getting the guts to write the book. Thank you so much, Ghana. I sent you that book and I'm happy you received it.
Yes,
Back to the
I need
studio.
one too.
I sent you a copy, but somewhere it got lost. Now, that's not my business. The man who has your book is right there. Okay. Now, I send books to many countries as part of my sharing with them, but I'm happy and I'm humbled that Comrade Nana has read my book and actually has shared with you many times from my book. As I said, it took me about 8 years to research, but also to get the energy to release it. Why? I knew once that book is on the market, I'm going to be forward in my country. And indeed I was. That book, I gave it out much of the time free in Uganda. And whoever got it called me an antichrist, especially the religious people who got the book. Because the book hits religion so hard. When you read it, Nana has read it page by page. I tell you how stupid it is to be religious. And I tell you how it is a syndicate of thieves and criminals behind organized religion. I repeat, a people behind organized religion is a syndicate of thieves, fraudsters, and criminals are the people behind organized religion. Now, God has given us a very good quotation. He said that you can't get sex when you're a religious person, when you are an atheist in Ghana. And I was dumbfounded. You can't get sex. In other words, it's a quotation which Dennis may be interested in. And it's a fact, by the way. Nana says that, and I agree with him. And of course, Bongfa Nandip, you may be lucky. You are lucky you are married. Nandip, let me tell you, people like me, and people like you, and people like Nana, and people like Tauya Chinama, and people like Comrade Emmanuel Mambo, find it very hard to negotiate with a girl who is a born again, to negotiate with a girl who is a Christian, to negotiate with a girl who is a Muslim. I have faced it. I can tell you one of my girlfriends when I was in secondary school was called Aisha. And I told Aisha, I don't believe in Jesus Christ, neither do I believe in Allah. And she said, now for you, you are Mkafir, you are an infidel. There's no way I can even have you for a boyfriend. And Aisha was very beautiful. But Aisha couldn't take me, you know. Now, that's the problem with being religious, you know. Sometimes it's very hard even to hold a relationship because the woman wants to go to church, wants to take your children to church. So I can see how it is affecting. Now, our senior comrade brother Kevin Sadana sent a question there. I don't know whether Dennis, we can give us that question again. It was from yeah. Here is the question, and also an observation. Kevin Sadana, who is based in Canada, is a humanist who supports our projects and of course Humanist TV Africa. He asked a question, which I want all of you to think about going forward. Why is religion so prevalent in society today? Why is religion so prevalent in society today? In fact, this question is going to form our topic tomorrow. Tomorrow, our topic will be, why is religion so prevalent in African societies today? That is our question, our topic for tomorrow. So, Kevin, join us tomorrow. I'm going to dissect why religion has become a nuisance in Africa when the rest of the world is chasing that nuisance away. I'm going to tell you why Africans are becoming hopelessly stupid when Asians and Caucasians and others are chasing God out of their lives. Africans are becoming more obsessed with a stupid ideology called God and the dogma when the rest of the world, when the Americans, when the Caucasians, when the Asians are chasing the stupid dogma called God away, Africans are inviting the stupidity so much into their lives to the extent of taking the same stupidity to countries like the UK. Today in the UK, the most religious people are from Africa. The most religious people are from Arabic countries. And that's where the most stupidity is, by the way. The most hopelessness, stupidity is in these countries, somewhere in Africa. This is where you're going to find people sacrificing people that they are looking for wealth. It's where you're going to find children at the age of 12 getting married and getting pregnant. It's in our own countries. It's in countries in Saudi Arabia, in Arabia, Yemen, Iraq, Iran, where you find girls as young as 15 getting married, where you find homosexuals being stoned to death. These hopeless countries are now exporting their idiocy back to Europe. When you look around England, where I've been, I have seen hopeless pastors from Uganda, hopeless pastors from Zambia, hopeless pastors from Zimbabwe, stupid pastors from Malawi, exporting their stupidity back to UK, exporting their idiocy back to UK. Guys who brought you religion are telling you, look, this was a lie. The Romans sold us a lie, and because we want to conquer the world, we sold you a lie. We are no longer believing in these lies. Churches in the UK, I've seen them. Churches in Norway, I've seen them. Churches in Iceland, churches in Denmark, in Netherlands, I've been there. Many of them are empty. Many of them are becoming casinos. Many of them are becoming bars. Many of them are becoming backpackers, hostels, hotels, schools. Bigger churches are becoming schools, casinos, backpackers. Why? There are no clients. In Europe, Caucasians say, to hell with idiocy, to hell with stupidity. In Africa, We are saying, oh, give us God. Oh, give us God. Why? Let us discuss this question tomorrow. Now, going forward, we have 6 minutes to go. I want to give you a chance to conclude this show. It has been a wonderful show. I have enjoyed it. Nandi, what's your conclusion for today?
Yes, comrades, thank you for this topic that you choose today. Relevant, how relevant is religion in your country today? Yes, you see, as already said, religion is like a life wire of my people in Nigeria. Without religion, I believe so many of them, they will go mad and crazy, because through bad governance and corrupt politicians, they have make a lot of people turn back to God the more, or religion, no matter which way you want to put it. So with that, religion has become a life wire to many people in Nigeria. More than half, or close to 100% of people believe in religion in Nigeria. And without that, there will be chaos. What we are having now, a corrupt country, one of the corrupt countries in the world. Without the religion, people will be more corrupt the more. Still, the country is corrupt. When every percent of the people in this country, they are religious, they are Christian, they are Muslims, just name it. But we, the non-believer and the traditionalists, we are nothing to find out about. But do you mean to tell us that our population, they are the one that causing the corruption in Nigeria? No. The corruption in Nigeria is caused by these religious people, that they have so much, wealth, and they have a lot of influence in this country. So I have to leave it this way, that religion in Nigeria is a kind of a life wire to the corrupt people and to most of the people in this country, and it's not helping us, and it's making us look stupid and useless. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, Nandi Bongfa, for that conclusion. Tomorrow, remember the question has been set by a senior comrade, Kevin Sadana. We shall be discussing that very question tomorrow. Why is the idiocy increasing in Africa today? Ghana, conclusion.
To conclude, I would like to say Ghanaians needs to see the light. We need to be enlightened, because the way have been already paved for us very long time ago. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. The wheel is already there. The reason, logic is emphatically free today. Common sense is emphatically free today. So if we are submissive to knowledge, if we submit ourselves to gain insight into the world we are living, I think religion will be it will be just a passing fad. People will not even remember they were, because I remember when the COVID came, and many people, there were people who have never skipped a church once in their life, but when the COVID came and there were restrictions of going to take, people realized, oh, so I can be in my house Sunday and be free without going to church, so I won't die. People were asking themselves these questions. They thought the day, the week they would never step foot in the church, maybe their enemies, their adversaries, the demons will come and kill them. But when the COVID came, it told Ghanaians that no, you can be in your house every Sunday without anything happening to you. So let's use common sense. Let's try to read. Let's read. Knowledge be important than beliefs. And let me conclude here that Ghana is a patriotic country for Africa. Every day I'm saying we are just a vehicle so that we can we can connect the whole Africa to be a one motherland, one country, so that, because I believe in Pan-Africanism so much that if Africa is situated in very well, Ghana too will enjoy the benefits of Africa at large. Thank you, Comrade Kato.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Nana Kupo from Ghana. Now, Dennis, may you please give us that observation from Kevin, which was running on the screen. I want to do justice by reading it because he has taken his time to give us attention. So I want to read it. Kevin says, Kevin Sadler from Canada says this: the religious evolution is the evolution of human imagination, the enhanced survival chance, and existential pressure, such as the religious reinforcement of social bonds to enhance the survival chance of social group, and the religious relief of stress and anxiety to enhance the survival chance of individuals. Very spot on. Survival chance of individuals, but also a relief stressor. You got it? He has it. Kevin, you have it. Religion helps my mother to relieve her stress. I can tell you, I stopped fighting with my mother so many years ago. Up to now, my mother prays for me. We are very good friends. Me and my mother, we are friends. Every time she calls me Paul, she refused to call me by my twin name because she thought by calling me Paul, I'll go back to Christianity because Paul is my Christian name. She calls me Paul, my son Paul. You see, I'm going to miss you in heaven. But I tell you, whenever my mother has problems, she's praying. Number two, she says, after all, God knows my fate. After all, whatever happens in her life, God is a stress reliever. You get it? God is the excuse. If someone dies, like she just lost her sister 2 days ago, my mother lost her only surviving sister, and it was her elder. Now she's heartbroken. But when you talk with her, say, my sister has gone to be with the Lord. Very soon I will find my sister. We shall be together in heaven. That's my mother now. She's 80 plus. Now, there's no way I can fight my mother. Otherwise, I will kill her. I stopped talking about my being non-religious many years ago. I told her, Mom, I'm non-religious, be religious, but pray for me. Because I know she loves to pray for me. And I know religion is a stress reliever for my mother. She's old. She has been indoctrinated all her life. You think she can become an atheist? No way. She wants to go to heaven, to meet her father, to meet her mother, and to meet her sisters. She wants to go to heaven. Who am I to stop her from going to heaven? I said, Mom, it's okay with her heaven. It's between you and your God. Also, me, when I go there and I find God there, I will ask him why he gave me this brain to ask him questions. God, how stupid were you to give me this brain so I can disturb you? Having said that, I know God is going to be annoyed. Of course, God doesn't exist because it's in your stupid head. Have a good night. See you in the next one. Bonfa, I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one. See you tomorrow in the next discussion.
Bye-bye. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Nice one. Nice one.